Today we're going to talk about everything you probably need to know about the jazz ride cymbal. Whoa, wait! As I was editing this lesson, I realized that I had way too much to say for just one video. So I decided to cut it into 4 smaller videos. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can get all this great information. Later lessons will introduce some more challenging concepts that are going to absolutely help you to be able to express yourself freely on the drums. Thanks so much for watching. Before we can talk about freely expressing ourselves in a jazz feel and playing all kinds of left-hand comping patterns, we have to talk a little bit about what actually makes a good ride cymbal feel in the first place. And that has everything to do with the quarter note. We want a really consistent quarter note sound as a foundation. I've heard it described as the magic carpet that all the other band members are riding on. Now this sound should really blend with and match the sound of the bass player. So the bass player's note has kind of an attack and a sustain, a body to it. It trails off at the end, but we want to match that sound. And that can be really difficult for us as drummers because the nature of our instrument is very staccato. Rather than worrying about that, I want you to use your voice. If you're like me, you might be a little bit shy about using your voice. Over time, you'll realize how powerful it is to match the quality of sound that you want. I got these particular syllables from watching Jeff Hamilton, and I think they fit really well, but if you want to make another sound that you think better matches the bass, that's totally fine too. Here's how Jeff Hamilton does it. He says, day, 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 day. Notice it has a clear attack, but a body and length to the note. It's not day, 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 which would be very staccato, which means short and separated. So we want a legato approach. Here's how it sounds with the ride cymbal. Day, 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 It's also important to notice that I'm trying to make a very consistent sounding quarter note on the ride cymbal. So the quality of the articulation, how strong I'm playing the note, the length of the note, the tonality of every stroke, that I'm trying to be very intentional about that and make them all exactly match. If that's a struggle for you right now, that's okay. A lot of my students take a first week just to try to be able to play a consistent sounding quarter note on the ride because they've never really thought about it. But this is absolutely going to be the foundation, so spend as much time as it takes for you to have the control to really play a consistent sounding quarter note. And remember, using your voice is really going to help you. If you're following along on the packet, you might also notice that this matches up with exercise A on the swing coordinations handout. Exercise A, I've written tenuto articulations over every quarter note. And tenuto just emphasizes the fact that we want to feel every note long. Let's listen again, but this time just to the ride cymbal without saying day, and be really picky about the sound that we're creating. Now that wasn't too bad, but I noticed a little bit of change. Let me exaggerate a little bit more by changing my beating spot, maybe the intensity, and notice how the flow of the quarter note really gets interrupted. These concepts of tone production don't even have anything to do with the actual timing of the note. So you might have perfect time, but if you have a beating spot problem or your articulations aren't all the same level, then you're going to have an inconsistency to this quarter note feeling. Let's listen again, and if I can get it dialed in for maybe 4 measures or so in a row, then I'll be ready to take the next step. Okay, now that we have a consistent quarter note feeling, we can move on to the next step, letter B. Notice that we still have those tenuto markings over every quarter note, implying we want that same length to the quarter note. But now letter B adds in the skip pattern, or the and of 2 and the and of 4. Remember, in a swinging feeling, the and is actually the third triplet. So it should sound like this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. Now Jeff Hamilton also has another syllable. So the quarter notes are still day, but now the skip notes are said g. So when you put it together, it sounds like this. Day, day, good day, good day, good day. I came across his presentation of this when I was in Australia.
Nice, Sarge.
But I have found this to be a very effective syllable to use for my own training. When you're first learning this, it's a good idea to start with letter A and then move to letter B. Day, 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 Now, again, we're going to be as picky as we possibly can be because the quality of our ride cymbal really is the limiting factor to the quality of our ability to swing. So when I'm moving from exercise A to exercise B, I want to make sure that the sound of the quarter note doesn't change at all. It's almost as if there's another person just standing there playing the quarter notes for me. Now, here's maybe how it sounds with a lot of my students the first time they try it. If you're going to even out the quarter note, you actually have to lean into the second stroke after the skip note. So it goes day, day, good day, good day. And here's what usually happens after I point that out to students. Did you notice the problem? The feel became very heavy on the 1 and 3, and that's the opposite of what it means to swing. So if anything, you want a little bit more emphasis on the 2 and 4, but as a starting point of control, I really like to try to even out those quarter notes. So here's a reminder of what it should sound like. Now, if you have the control to make sure every quarter note sounds really consistent through letters A and B, we're ready to move on to letter C. And the difference here is that we're going to add in the feet. Balances can be really important. And in this case, we're going to be feathering the bass drum. And the hi-hat should be balanced up to the same dynamic as the ride cymbal. Here's what it sounds like when you put it all together. Like before, I'm going to start with my voice. Then I'm going to move on to letter A, then letter B, then letter C. Day, 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 day. One other side note is that we're using our voice currently to try to feel length, but another way that we can feel length is through the quality of the motion that we make to create the stroke. So if I want my stroke to feel long, or I want my sound to feel long, I have to make my stroke long like this. Okay, if I want it short and separated, my stroke should be short and separated like this. And this is a fairly universal rule that you can apply to anything percussion, and it'll really help make a difference between your short approach and your long legato approach. After you've trained it, you can play letter C without using your voice and get really picky about your sounds again. Let's listen carefully. If you visit my lesson about playing the hi-hat, part of the lesson is about how we play the hi-hat with our left foot when we're playing ride cymbal time. So if you want to explore some options about playing it tightly closed or maybe a little bit looser, go back and review that lesson too.